Age. So today, welcome. I'm Linda Daniels. This is supposed to be lunch with Linda, but it's breakfast on Wednesday morning because we took a snow day on Monday, and you are now inside Northampton walls in Northampton, Massachusetts. I know I sent a little message on Facebook that we would be doing it at 9:30, and of course, I think that we'd have plenty of time, but Kate and I have just been running around like mad to get ready. So hopefully I get through and remember everything that I wanted to tell you guys, and hopefully some of you show up. So if you are there, say hi so Kate can say hi back, or make sure that we actually have some people. And if you're not joining us live now, you know you can catch us later on, and either on YouTube or on Facebook. We will be posting this, hopefully with no trouble today. We are expecting snow this afternoon, so I'm not sure what our morning will be like. Those of you who might be out and about doing last minute errands, I know us New Englanders tend to load up on milk and bread just in case the electricity goes out, or to run around and get errands done as fast as possible. Fill that car up with gas, get salt ready for the sidewalks. We will be here. I will be here all day. Kate will probably go home early when it starts to snow hard, so she can drive home in the weather. But I'll be here all day because we're responsible for shoveling the sidewalk in front of the store. So the Big D dropped me off this morning, and he's going to come back to pick me up, and we'll shovel before we actually go home.
Bess said it's brunch with Linda.
It's brunch with Linda. Thank you, Bess. Yeah. So that the sidewalk is clear and we don't have to come back at midnight. We can wait until tomorrow morning to finish clearing it up. So it's always exciting when there's a little bit of snow forecast, especially this year when we've had so very little. So hopefully you have knitting. I know most of you have some kind of stash that you can do. So in anticipation of the rest of the week being nice enough to get out, I wanted to share a few things with you. You know that right now for the last 2 weeks we have been at the beginning of our semi-annual clearance sale. This is now our 3rd week of it, and this is when we do some big markdowns. I am going to show you some of the things we're going to mark down. Kate will then be able to mark them down on the website, and you will be able to purchase them on sale on the website. And you can do that in several different ways. You can have us ship it to you. We can put it in a bag and you can drive up and we'll run it out to you, or you can come in and pick it up at your leisure. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is what's going down to 50%. A lot of these yarns started at 30% off. This is the week that they go down to 50%. So if you had your eye on something or been watching something, then this is when you want to come in and get it, because there's still some good choice on some of these things. So the first one is this Vega. Kate, you might need to move the camera a little bit. This was $33, and it started out at 30% off, and now it's going to go, yeah, I got my red pen, or magic marker, which drives my granddaughter nuts.
Sharpie.
She says it's a Sharpie. Well, my generation, still magic markers. So half off of 33 is now going to be 50% off, which makes it $16.50.
Nice.
So the Vega is from Space Cadet. It's a hand-dyed yarn that has those little bloops of color. This is the worsted weight, and there is 218 yards in this. So it's plenty for a worsted weight hat. It's plenty for a pair of mittens. It's plenty for a cowl. And where do we put it?
Behind you, right there.
Oh, right there. The companion yarn to that is the Lyra, which is a fingering, I would say a heavy fingering weight yarn. Works really well on a size 5 or 6 needle. And this is what those colors look like when they're knit up. You get those little splashes of other colors. So it's not a striping yarn, and it's not a pooling yarn. And I'm going to talk more about pooling yarn in a second. But this is all that's left of the Lyra. This and the Vega will look the same. Of course, there'll be a little bit of difference depending on what stitch you use, but you will get those splashes of color. This also is going to be 50% off, which makes that $16.50. So let me just mark that right now. So those are the first two yarns that are going to get marked down. Then over here, this is a really delicious yarn from Manos del Uruguay. It's one of their staples. You can find probably 50 patterns, some of them free, on the Manos del Uruguay website. This is Fino. This is their fingering weight yarn. It's 70% merino and 30% silk. That's why this stuff just glows. And it is that kettle dye process that Manos is known for. So you'll get a slight variation and some bigger variation in some colors. But this is just beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of patterns for this, from shawls to companion pieces. I've worked with it with a mohair for ranunculus. And we've got just this much left. This was normally $32. So this now is going to be 50% off, down to $16 a skein. It's got 490 yards. Now, it's not really good for socks because it is a single ply. And even with the silk in it, which is a stronger fiber than wool, it's not going to wear really well as socks. But for anything else, it's just really delicious. There are a couple of colors that we do have enough. You only need 2 skeins to do a regular size ranunculus with a strand of mohair in it. Otherwise, it's single skeins, and like I said, you can find patterns for it on the website, manosdeluruguay.com. Search
just
for Manos.
Google it.
Yeah, just Google it. Because it might actually be Fairmont Fibers, but that's the distributor. Manos. Just Google Manos del Uruguay or Google Fino, and that'll take you right to it.
Yeah.
Then the Lucero DK. This is the sparkly yarn. So this was $38. It's now going to be 50% off, which is going to make it $19. Okay, so 250 yards in this sparkly. I hope you guys can see that little sparkle in there because it's throughout the whole thing. It is the stellina that gives it that sparkle, and this has 10% cashmere in it, so it's super, super soft. Trust me, if this doesn't go, I've got something in mind. Never mind. I have too much in mind. That's the problem. And then since we're here, the super bulky, the Ushia, is now going to be 50% off. It was $25, so that makes it $12. Oh my God, $12.50.
Whew. For that, one of those makes a hat.
And one of those does a hat. We've got our free herringbone pattern on the website under the free patterns page that I did for that. That was really, really popular. It's kind of a straight edge and then in on the top. And the herringbone stitch pattern is really fun to do. A couple of people did a scarf too using that same pattern when they bought the Ushia. So look for that. Then, what was the other one? The
Merino single?
no, the other super bulky
Cielo.
from Plymouth. It's down here.
Must be.
Nope. Oh dear, this was the rush part of this morning. Well, let's go. You stay there. I'm gonna go this way and bring it. Yeah, just turn right around. There we go. We'll find the Celine, the Celine. What the heck
Cielo.
is it? Cielo. Oh my gosh. Okay, now here's the big deal, you guys. The Galatea. This was started out at 25% off, and now, yes, indeed, it's going to 50% off. And it was $22. It's now going to be $11. This is 100% cotton. It's 95 yards per skein. It is a bulky weight cotton. And what makes it really special is that it is applied cotton. So it's gonna hold its shape. It's not gonna stretch out or bag and sag. And this is from Earth Yarns, so it is multicolored, which means that you get skeins that range in from dark to light within the solid color, and then there are multicolors that pair with it. So you could do a great striped top with that. We've had a little t-shirt done out of that, and a little tank top. This is great summer tank top yarn because it still gives you coverage without any see-through, but doesn't it isn't really light. You don't have to work on a skinny needle. So there's a ton of stuff to do with this. We've sold some of it for baby blankets. Makes a really great baby blanket. You can be up there on a size 11 to 13 needle, depending on what you want. And Kate has found the Plymouth yarn, CeeLo. This is another super bulky. We've got sweater quantity in the white and in the green, and I love this yarn. I'm really sad to see it go. I did a seed stitch cardigan, designed a seed stitch cardigan for them, which we still have the pattern for. Takes about 6 or 7 skeins of it, but this one is really soft, and this is a chain stitch construction, so it's not just twisted, it actually looks like it's been crocheted. That gives it really great stitch definition. So if you want to do a stitch pattern or cables, it shows up really well in this yarn. Again, you're on a size 13 to 15 needle, and it has 109 yards, so it's fairly decent yardage. I really like it on that 11 to 13. I'm a bit of a loose knitter, so a size 11 works really well for me. If you're a tight knitter,
I'm on a 13.
You're on a it works better on a 13. So think about that when you do this. Again, 1 skein is going to be enough to do that same hat that the Ushia goes with, or tons of bulky weight patterns on it. So this was, and this is the deal, this was 25% off, and now it's going to be 50% off. It was $18.75. What the heck? We're just going to go right down to $9 for a skein of that. Like I said, Kate will put these new prices on the website, so give her a little bit of time, and then we'll be able to sell it to you at the new price online. Then, because we did inventory again and cleaning out, I have a new prices on a new yarn that we're going to put on sale, and that is the Periwinkle sheep. Now, we love Periwinkle sheep, and we're going to continue to carry it, but just a year and a half ago, I bought a whole load of the Periwinkle singles, the merino singles, to kind of fill in our inventory quickly and to help Karen out with what she had left. So these are all hand dyed in Albany, and Periwinkle sheep has been around for a while, and she does a gorgeous job. So it is 100%, wait a minute, let me make sure I say that right. Yeah, it's 100% superwash merino. Each skein has 400 yards, and it is a fingering weight. Think shawls. Again, we have a lot of 1 skeins, so you're going to have to think shawls or lightweight somethings. Anything that we have more than 2 skeins of, again, this is a good one to use for ranunculus or for any of the sweaters, calliope, that work with the strand of mohair with it. So we're starting this out at 30% off. So it was $27. That makes it $18.90. We have this basket, and we have this gorgeousness as well. I mean, doesn't this just make you smile? Isn't this the prettiest thing? And you'll notice that, probably not online, but when you see this in person, we do have a couple of skeins that have a little bit of that stellina in it that have a tiny bit of sparkle. What a great little Valentine's gift for somebody coming up. Just give them a couple of skeins of yarn. Let them worry about the pattern. Let them worry about the knitting.
I'm raising my hand over here.
Kate's ready. So these two baskets, same thing. They're both the merino singles from Periwinkle Sheep. They're both going to be marked down to $18.90. And basically, guys, this stuff is first come, first serve. So if you see something that you like, get in here or get online and order it that way. So that's the sale stuff that I wanted to talk about quickly. Kate's going to get me the other thing. Okay, so we got two. I'll give you this. There are a couple of, just quickly, there are a couple of other sale items that are around the store that I will be marking down to 50% or pulling some other things. You know what else we got that I haven't had a chance was the socks. That's the other thing that came in. I wanted to show you this. Now this book has been out for a little bit, and every single time it has sold out and had to go to reprint. We finally got our turn. So we got in 6 copies. I've already sold 2 of them on Saturday. We were super busy, and people, two groups actually, like the families, bought this, ended up buying this book for their mother. If you are a hat knitter, number one, hat knitter, there's 63 hat patterns in here, 63. If you are a national parks visitor, every single one of those hats is related to a specific national park. If you have somebody who works at one or lives near one or likes to visit one, it's a great, great idea. Now, what's the beauty of this book? 2 or 3 things. Number one, every single pattern is written for size 5 and 7 needles. So you don't need to buy a whole set of needles. You don't need to worry about whether you've got them or not. Get size 5 16-inch, get size 7 16-inch, get size 7 double pointed needles. You are ready to knit every single pattern in this book. Every single pattern in this book uses worsted weight yarn. A lot of the times there were 2 companies in particular that she used, and that was the Malbrigo Rios and something from Peekaboo. Peekaboo yarns, yeah. There are a couple of other yarns as well, but they are all worsted weight yarns. The one thing about them is that they are very, I'm going to say, color specific. In order to reflect the national park, she went with very specific colors. So this might be the Rios green, but it may not be in any other hat. But there are certainly plenty of hat patterns in here where you buy 3 or 4 different colors of the Rios and you're able to make several of the hats. Like I said, they're very color specific to reflect the park that they are supposed to be about, but you can get away with slight variations of that, I think, and still get the general feel of it. I mean, black and white is black and white, right? Isn't that wonderful? Birch trees in Acadia.
So pretty.
So it's a really interesting book, and certainly a comprehensive book, and you don't even need to make the hat that actually reflects. I mean, you don't need to walk around and say this hat represents blah blah blah. It's just a great looking hat with some pretty fun and unique designs. I mean, look at this, the Petrified Forest. What a colorful, great looking hat that is, but when you wear it, nobody's going to know it's the Petrified Forest unless you tell them. So this is a real treasure of a book. Like I said, we've got 3 for sale because I am going to keep one for the store, and as soon as those are out, we'll be able to reorder again and try and keep it in for quite a while. The other thing that we got in, and I did a little reel because Kate and I are beginning to play with reels. These were supposed to be before Christmas, and of course they didn't get here in time. And that's another supply chain thing, because I actually ordered these in May, so I thought I had plenty of time.
Wow.
But obviously didn't. So we've had these socks in before. These are German made, with the German yarn.
Super socks.
That online, yeah, Super Sock, which is a wool and nylon blend. It's 25% poly. So these will hold up really, really well. And they come in 4 different sizes in lots of different colors. Right now we are full and then we got in, what did we get? 46 pairs?
A lot,
Yeah, we got 46 pairs of socks. So we have a lot of really fun classic looking socks. They're ribbed on the top, stockinette stitch on the bottom. They have a pretty classic European heel. And like I said, they come in 4 sizes, but they're socks, Unless you have really tiny feet or really big feet, something in the middle is going to fit, because they are sized. Oh, you did that. Good girl.
Yeah.
The labels are sized with the European measurement, but Kate converted that
The shoe size.
to the shoe size in US. So we'll be able to help you with that. And speaking of socks, the other book was the Crochet Woobles book. I'm going to show you that in just a second. But speaking of socks, last week I talked about the puffin and the bulky weight sock pattern that was online. Well, we've moved the puffin up to the front on Saturday, and of course we sold a lot of it. This is one of those ones that is already started at 50% off. So instead of $20, it's $10. I, on my mental health day, knit a pair of those bulky weight socks. It did take, I did have to go into the second skein. So you're going to need 2 skeins of puffin to make a nice chunky pair of socks. But this is how much I have left over.
Oh.
It's going to be enough to make a small hat, and the multicolor that I used for this part, for the Fair Isle part, was leftover kuzu. So you can use any little bit of bulky weight stuff that you might have. And I'm going to make a hat with that same pattern around the top of it. This sock pattern is different than a traditional pair of socks. And because of that, I'm going to say that it is not for the beginner knitter, or the maybe first time sock maker, unless you come and do it in class. We're going to do a bunch of classes in February that I'm going to talk about in a second. But these really are house socks. They are, the pattern calls for size 13 and 15 needles, and I found I did the whole thing on 13s because 15 was just too big. As it is, they're knit, they come out a bit loosely knit. I think that even if you used a size 11 needle, you would be okay, that the socks would still fit. They might take a little bit more yarn, but since you need that second skein anyway, you might as well get them to be a little bit tighter. These are going to be great socks over socks. So if you have a lightweight pair of socks that you usually wear around the house, put these on over it, and it's like wearing slippers. Now, a lot of people talk right away about how slippery they would be, and yes, but there are 2 things you can do to avoid that. And one is get those leather slipper bottoms that you can sew this right onto, or you can also get some of that puffy paint and just put a few dots of puffy paint on the bottom, and they won't be that slippery. And then, really don't wear them up and down the stairs.
Oh my gosh, I've made that mistake before.
Take them off. But certainly sitting in front of the fire, back and forth to the bathroom or kitchen, I think they'll be okay. They won't be all that bad. So, these socks, big needles. The pattern tells you
Look
to
at those
use.
colors.
What are you doing?
I was showing them the bottom 2 bins.
Oh, okay.
Of the teal and magenta.
The pattern is written for 2 circular needles. I am working on and going to finish that up today. We're going to do February as Sock Along February,
Nice.
where each weekend we're going to offer a different method of making socks. So we'll do double pointed needles, we'll do 2 circular needles, we'll do magic loop, and you can read about it because I'll be sending an email out later on this week, and decide which, if any, of those socks you want to learn how to do. So Sock Along February is coming. This is going to be one of the classes because I did make changes to make the pattern easier to knit. There were things that that were described in the pattern that were unusual and I thought could be done better, and the first one was the short row heel. So look for that. That's coming up. Sock Along February. We're going to have at least 3, if not 4, different classes in how to make socks. Let's see. Oh yeah, and one more book. We have not been able to get the Woobles kits in anymore. We're still waiting for them to become available again as they revamp, but the book was now made available. And if you have somebody who wants to learn to crochet, 2 things: either get them this book or call the Hill Institute and sign up for my crochet class.
Oh, yeah.
That starts next Wednesday night. And Bess, there are 2 people signed up for the antique crochet bag, the silk bag class. So you might call Chris and tell her to put your name on the list. It might help with getting that class going. But this book is filled with cute little animals. Tons and tons of cute little amigurumi,
Aw.
but not so small that you're hurting your hands as you make them. Oh, look at that guy.
Oh,
He's so
little
sweet.
cupcake.
So sweet. So this is a real specialty book for people who are crocheting or want to crochet. I've seen children as young as 10 are able to work from the book themselves. So it's another great little gift item. And we've got plenty of those in. And I just wanted to say that we've got 2 slots left, only 2. The Cape is almost sold out. If you are at all interested, this is the week because the hotel deadline is February 2nd. If you want to come with us, then you need to call me this week and we can talk about making arrangements. But there's only 2 slots left for that. And then I wanted Kate to show the progress she's made on her sweater. You know, she put a post up that she is knitting the cardigan from Easy Knits. Do you have the pattern right there? This is from 52
number
weeks
14.
of Easy Knits.
I can't see the camera.
I know, I'll go back there now. We'll let Kate.
Hi everyone. So I started this on Friday night with a big needle too big, so I had to start over with a needle smaller. But I think I made good progress.
You did. It's so, so pretty. So what yarn are you using, Kate?
I am using the Alpaca Moda.
Which is a lovely, lovely yarn.
It's very fluffy
Yep.
and really soft, and I love the color. It reminds me of leaves in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of fun knitting it, and of course I have my stitch stoppers on there.
So cute. Those little fox
I was gonna
stitch
post
stoppers.
about it on Saturday night, but I didn't have time because I was supposed to start dinner, and my husband came back from the walk and I hadn't started yet, and I was mid-row, and so I stuck these on and was so glad I had them so I could run to the kitchen and start dinner.
So nothing fell out. As you can see, it is a top down, and when Kate posted it, she had her markers in there for her sleeve increases, and a lot of people asked about what markers they were, and they are from the Mindful collection. So they are silver markers that come in a great little case.
And with a little legend to tell you what each chakra means. So sometimes I pick specific ones like I create or I feel.
So each symbol means something.
Each symbol means something, and it corresponds to a chakra, like the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the heart chakra. They
Cute.
come with different sizes of rings, so you can't use all of them on the same needle. So some are just for big needles and some are just for small needles.
Cute.
But I love these.
This is the book, and the pattern that she's doing.
The pattern.
And this is from 52 Weeks of Easy Knits, which has sold out
Twice.
twice. So we do still have plenty of copies of
And
those.
I really enjoyed the way the pattern was set out. It was really easy to kind of understand what was happening. And I felt like I could trust it. So I'm
That's
pretty
great.
excited to make that.
And I also want to give a little shout out to Kate, because when she posted that picture, the people at Lane Magazine in Finland made a comment about loving the color that she's chosen to do it in. So
Other
that's
people like the colors I choose.
really fun. Really, really fun.
And I noticed that it's a similar color to what's in my ranunculus. So
Yeah.
of course I love it.
Yeah.
But I think it might be too warm together.
I was going to say, you could have a, what's that called? A twin set?
Yeah.
Really fun.
So that's that.
All right, you guys, that's it for Wednesday morning. And I hope you're ready for the snow, and I sure hope you have something to knit, because you better go knit something.
Knit something.
Bye.